Did you feel any sense of Octagon jitters today?
Oh, a lot. It was a whole different feeling. I walked out there, and right when my music came on, I had this weird energy that went through my whole body. Oops, sorry. My whole body went out my head. I was just like, oh my God, this is the real deal. I'm in the UFC. Definitely a lot different feeling, but I got to use it.
Well, certainly having your brother as a champion has got to help you. Was there any specific words he gave you in terms of advice in approaching your first fight?
Go out there, watch out for the bum rush, just be smart, be a technical fighter, and be a star.
Do you feel like you did that tonight?
You know, I was a little hesitant with my stand-up. I was trying to set up my head kick, and Will knows that I stand up, so you know he did an excellent job defending. Took me down. I didn't expect that. He's a stand-up fighter himself, and he came in with the takedown, which was a lot different. So I had to go out there and react with some submissions, and I just tried to be a full mixed martial artist out there.
Were you a little worried when he took you down, because you did get about 3 of them there in that first round? What was going through your head as you were getting taken down there?
Yeah, I was upset. You know, I kept letting him get deep enough to hit that angle, and he took me down. I was on my back trying to be active on my guard, which, you know, it's just dangerous in the UFC. If you're on the ground, you're usually losing. But I stayed active, and I tried to go for a submission every time I had the chance. Pulled out that W.
Was it strange for you, being that you had to take a short notice opponent when you had been preparing for Phong Le, and then it ended up being Will Campuzano?
Yeah, it was a lot different. Will's, you know, I think more of an aggressive fighter. Comes forward, tries to knock you out. Or Phong Le, he's very fast. He's a southpaw fighter as well, Phong Le. So I was, you know, I was training for a southpaw the whole time, and I ended up being an orthodox fighter, which is a little bit different. But I had to go out there and react. That's the name of the game.
You mentioned the fighting off your back a lot, going for a lot of submissions off your back. When you're standing there waiting to hear the decision, was there any doubt that it might go your way?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little doubtful. You know, he took me down a lot, but you know, I went out there and I felt like I was more active than the guy. You know, he held me down and didn't do much from on top. You know, a little bit of ground and pound here and there, but I was always on my back trying to go for a submission or trying to stand up, and I felt like I did what it took to pull up the W.
Well, we saw at some points in the fight, like after the second round, he kind of just walked over and sat down at one point against the cage, not really in his corner. It seemed like he was kind of fading a little bit. Did you notice that? Were you thinking about how to capitalize on that? Because it seemed like you were, you know, losing a little bit of steam there late too.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to capitalize on it, but you know, that's the thing. If you think the guy's tired, and you know he might throw out something crazy and knock you out, so you don't want to go in and rush with you know, the intention of trying to knock him out. That's when people usually get knocked out. You know, when you go in there and you're like, oh, this guy's finished, but then he comes with a big bomb and I'm sleeping. I don't want that. So, you know, I try to be the smart way about it and just try to pick him apart.
You mentioned the kind of adrenaline rush of the first UFC fight. What's it like now that it's over and it's done and you got the win?
I'm going to have this rush with me for probably 24 hours. I'm going to stay up this whole night. By the time I get in the plane tomorrow, I'm going to be knocked out for like a day and a half.
You fought most of your career here at flyweight, and now you're at bantam. Your plan is to stay at bantamweight with the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, I want to stay bantamweight. Flyweight's a hard weight cut for me. I feel like I drain myself too much, and I'm only 20 years old. I'm growing, and I'm not growing this way, unfortunately. I'm growing this way, so which, you know, sucks. But you know, I feel like I'm going to grow into the 135 division.
I heard you got a thing for Oreos. Are you planning to lay off those now?
No, I mean, I had a thing for him. You know, I had a huge thing for him, and I had to let them go. Me and them don't have a relationship anymore. So
after your brother won the title, he went to visit your late father and took him the belt, tweeted this great picture of that. I know that's an emotional subject, but I'm just curious about your relationship with your dad, and you know, still now, do you go visit him? Do you go ask him for some guidance before a fight? Will you go visit him, you know, when you get back home?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's been 10 years that he passed away, November 12th, the day I came out here. It was really tough. You know, I'm gonna go talk. I talk to him every night. You know, whenever time I get a chance, I try to talk to my father, and I still try to keep a relationship with him, even though he's not here.
Absolutely, I can understand that. Now, it seems like you got quite a crew following you around. How has this been? Obviously, you know, it's your first fight in the UFC, but with your brother being the champion, there's a lot of, you know, buzz around you and expectation. So how has this been this week for you, dealing with all this extra stuff?
It's a lot different. You know, I'm not used to having cameras everywhere. I mean, I'm not even used to this. I'm trying to keep it cool. But, you know, it was a lot different. They expect me to be, you know, just like my brother. And this fight, I try to break out of that, try to create my own name. I'm trying to get out of his shadow, which, you know, I'm never going to get out of it. We're brothers, and I like that competition that we have. And, you know, hopefully I could be a great mixed martial artist just like my brother.
How soon do you want to get back into it? As far as 2014, how many fights do you see yourself having in 2014?
I want to be like Cerrone, man. I want to fight as much as I can. You know, Donald fights a lot, and that's where I want to be. Every time I get the chance to fight, I want to become the best mixed martial artist at my weight division. I'm only 20 years old, got great expectations, and I could live out those expectations. I feel like I have what it takes, and I have the right mindset.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Great job. All right.
Good question.
Yeah, thanks.